We had this week Seth Rollins versus the World. I think on Friday he sent out a tweet that said, hey, check out Stomping Grounds this Sunday for the best wrestling in the world, which then sent all of the Morlocks in a flutter to him to bash his wrestling. And then Seth Rollins decided to double down and say they are the best wrestling on the planet. And he said, there's no wrestler alive better than me. And Will Ospreay chimed in and said, I'm alive. And then they went back and forth a little bit talking about Will Ospreay said he's wrestled more matches, and Seth Rollins said, I have more money, and everyone got booed. And then Baron Corbin came out of the woodwork and said, I've wrestled more matches than you. And Will Ospreay said, who are you? So that was kind of funny. But they went back and forth for a while. So now we have social media, and these guys are warring against each other. Seth Rollins is now defending the WWE against all the stuff Jon Moxley said, and he's saying Dean Ambrose couldn't cut the schedule in the WWE and all of those things. So how do we feel about, and this is before we get into Kenny Omega here, but I just want to hit on Seth Rollins, and how do you think he handled himself? Out of control, positives, pros, heat, all that stuff.
Okay, I'm playing my next chess move here. Feel free to join with me on this. Can I just call this for what it is? It's a work. And I thought about this very carefully before tonight, because I knew we were going to record. I think this is a very clever way to get just as broad of an audience as possible talking about wrestling. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, they all win. Us fans, we start paying attention to not only WWE, but then when Will Ospreay, gets in on this, okay, now you're tagging in, New Japan? And then, if you get anybody from AEW chiming in, it's like, to me, I think this is a kind of a modern day way of doing the Monday Night Wars. Because I really think we are in a war. It's just, it's a war in today's times. Whereas,
now they can directly talk to each other.
Yes.
They can directly do those things and not even put it on TV. If they wanted to make those comments in the Attitude Era, you needed to make those comments on TV and try to let them slip by, and you couldn't always get that through. Now they can just throw out a tweet and start a war with someone on the other side.
And the really cool thing about it is that it's going to get everybody talking. Because look, we're talking about it right now. We're spending time on our podcast talking about it, and there's millions of other fans that are talking about this. So if you're getting people talking about the product, that's going to get people interested in the product, especially ones that, maybe have gotten disconnected. That's going to reconnect them.
I totally agree. I think that this may have started as Seth Rollins saying something really good. He's trying to defend his brand. He obviously recognizes that so many people are kind of talking a lot of smack about the WWE. But this is absolutely free publicity for all parties involved. And I really think the wrestling industry is finally starting to figure out how to use social media to its advantage, and this is exactly it. So, do I think Will Ospreay and Seth Rollins have any real heat? Not at all. I guarantee you, if they saw each other in a bar, they probably would have a beer together and say, look how many followers we got just by this back and forth, just like that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to throw a little heat on Kenny Omega. Why don't you go ahead and read it, and then we'll share our thoughts on that.
So basically, WWE has decided that they're going to stream Evolve's 10th anniversary show, where they do have a working relationship, WWE and Evolve Wrestling. They'll always have the NXT guys there, and they have a couple NXT guys wrestling at that match. So they decided they're going to stream live the Evolve 10th anniversary show on the WWE Network, and it is the same night as Fight for the Fallen, which is the July 14th or 15th show that AEW is putting on, their second free show of the summer after the Fyter Fest this Saturday, which all of the proceeds from the live gate for Fight for the Fallen is going to gun violence charity for people in Florida who've been affected by gun violence. So it's a very good, noble cause. They're streaming it again for free on the Bleacher Report Live. It's a good thing. So now WWE has signed up and said, hey, we're going to stream Evolve. So Kenny Omega then posted a tweet, which he has since deleted because in his words, it opened a toxic environment. But he said, if you're lining your pockets with blood money is okay, then what's wrong with trying to undermine a charity show for victims of gun violence? I hear that healthy competition is supposed to be a good thing, and yet I can't help but feel I'm going to be sick.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. He was obviously bringing up Saudi Arabia, and he's bringing up, the notion that WWE would be purposefully, going after them. to me, it's like, listen, like, we're going way too hard here. And, like, it's almost the complete opposite of Will Ospreay's and Seth Rollins banter, which I think was ultimately, to Corey's point, like, more or less a work to get attention. I think he should have known better, because that's exactly, a tweet like that is going to completely open up the political spectrum. And we don't need politics in wrestling. We really don't. I don't need it. I get enough politics on the internet every single day. It's already annoying as it is. So I'm glad he deleted it, but I still think it was a little over the top.
Bottom line is that AEW and WWE, their product is wrestling. So it's competition, period. Okay, WWE's putting on this Evolve show. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Have you seen an Evolve show before?
No.
Okay, so what's the worry? It's not like WWE like put together a pay-per-view or something like that is a WWE pay-per-view and then purposely put it on at the same time as this show. So I'm going to be honest with you. The Evolve thing, I'm not that interested in.
I think Evolve is actually very smart for getting in with WWE, because
absolutely,
it's only good for them. I'm going to check it out. But I'm also going to check out Fight for the Fallen, or so that as a fan, I don't get why you have to say these things, because I'm not even thinking that. Like, that was the farthest thing from my mind, and like, I'm sure there's a segment of the audience that even got more people fired up. But I will, as upset as I was about the tweet, I'm happy that Kenny Omega realized it was dumb to say that and what it was probably causing on the internet. So.
And then it's on the WWE Network. Fans can just watch it later. There's no threat about this.
That was my entire thought, was, I'll catch that later when I'm bored. I'm going to watch Fight for a Fallen
it's
probably
not
live.
like it's back in the day, Monday Night Wars, when you had to pick and choose. No, everybody's going to watch AEW, and then, like, when that's done, maybe if they're still up, they'll watch the Evolve right after or the next day or whatever. So, pointless tweet.
And then it was funny because when I saw this story, I didn't even understand what was happening. I had to read through comments on Facebook to see even what this tweet meant. Like, I had no idea about the Evolve show at all. If it wasn't for Kenny Omega, I wouldn't even know Evolve was doing, the WWE was doing this on their network with Evolve. I had no idea until Kenny Omega told me. So thank you, Kenny Omega. Now I'm going to go watch Evolve. Kenny Omega. Now I'm going to go watch Evolve. Kenny Omega. Now